Move that we convene as a council.
Okay,
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. I'm going to call the Hopkinton Town Council meeting of July 18th to order with a moment of silent meditation and salute to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up is the proposed ordinance regarding photovoltaic solar energy systems. Render a decision on an amendment to Code of Ordinances, Chapter 134 zoning, to add a proposed new ordinance entitled Photovoltaic Solar Energy Systems, PSES, introduced and sponsored by Councilor Thompson, heard on July 5th. And with that, our hearing is closed, so now it's our turn to just deliberate and vote on it. So, who wants to start? David?
I think it's a fine idea. I think it's something that could help age to do and get it done, and I have no problem with it at all. So I think I'm all for it.
I have nothing to say here, I think it's fine, I'm for the ordinance.
Same here. I know I wasn't here for the meeting, but I read through all the paperwork, and I have no issues.
So,
I have some suggestions. A couple of comments that were made at the hearing concern the fence, obviously, and also whether or not language should be put in that it's residential zones were exempt from this.
yeah.
So what I had an easy suggestion, just for one, change the title, photovoltaic solar energy system right at the top page. Just call it commercial in front of it, put commercial in front of that, and then it's clear that it's only commercial. Does that sound okay?
Does commercial continue, does commercial also have industrial manufacturing, all those other levels as well? Because it should be all of that. I mean, it may.
Well, it is. It is.
Yeah, I think anything that's something that Chinese make.
And I think it's like Kevin, I just want to make sure that legally we're set, we said commercial, we cover industrial manufacturing.
And I think commercial is sort of the flip side of the coin of residential, so I thought it would be widely understood to be non-residential.
All right,
You
I'm
say
set.
non-residential.
Hmm?
You could say non-residential.
That might be better.
Oh, that's even better. Right, to say non-residential photovoltaic instead of commercial, just non-residential. That's a great thought.
Any thoughts?
I guess it's all right.
That is definitely clear.
Yeah, and then because we're going to be looking at the residential.
The other one is on page 2, the top of the page, where it states the following, this first sentence on section 5.3, the following requirements apply to photovoltaic and solar energy systems as a principal use of the property. My thinking is, what if it's not, what if there's more property and then do something else other than that, so it's not, it may not end up being the principal use. I wouldn't want anybody to think that that's all they could do with balance principle. So anyway, the suggestion I was going to make, and it comes from a sentence on the first page, is just to do the following. The following requirements apply to photovoltaic energy systems whose main purpose is to generate energy for sale back to the energy grid system. That was the sentence I was going to suggest instead. And that language came from the definition, last sentence. That last sentence under the definition of photovoltaic. It came from page 1, the last sentence of photovoltaic.
Oh,
Under the definitions, I took that. You know where we are? First page.
Photovoltaic solar energy system, which is
Right.
page 1, that paragraph, last sentence.
And
of
you
that
look at the
paragraph.
last sentence, and that's where I took it, so there wouldn't be any confusion about if somebody wants to
But
do
in-
more on their property. That's,
So what's your suggestion?
my suggestion was, the following, and you read page 2. The following requirements apply to photovoltaic solar energy system, and then and then you add whose main purpose is to generate energy for sale back to the energy grid system. That's
So
all.
it's actually deleting it as principal use
Yes.
of the property and adding that sentence from the previous page.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so let me just figure this out. All right, so you want to change it from principal use?
Yes, you want to delete as a principal use of the property, because it may not be the principal use. It may be commercial and it may be the intent and the primary use, but they may have a piece of property that they choose to do other things. We don't want them to think this is the only thing we can do.
But,
Right.
Well, anyway, I suggested the new language, so.
I was going to say, some of the commercial systems like this, or B or something, they would put it in on a commercial property. They would use this solar to take care of their energy needs and sell back. So,
Well, they may not sell that, so.
they may not,
Yeah.
but they may, again, they'd use it for their own systems.
Can I add? I was suggesting we keep as a principal use of the property on which it's located. And, you know, that means if you've got that acre, if you've got the system set up on that acre, that's the principal use of that acre.
But is that the entire property? What if it's
Yeah,
a
but if it's on a
50 acre piece of property, does that make,
On which it's directly located. You know, I'm talking about the acre, I'm not talking about 50 acres, that's what you're talking about. I'm wondering whether,
Yeah, what
but
if
it
it's
says
on-
principal use of the property, so properties, if you go to the assessor's office, your lot 49A,
right?
so that's that property is considered that whole chunk,
Yeah,
not
oh, I see.
breaking out 1 acre.
Well, I agree that there could be instances where it's not going to be sold back to the grid, so.
Right.
So read your sentence and inform me again, please.
The following requirements apply to photovoltaic solar energy systems, and this is the new part, whose main purpose is to generate energy for sale back to the energy grid system. That's what this ordinance is all
Right.
about.
Which is just pulling that paragraph, that sentence out of the front page.
But you wanted to change that, right?
Yeah, I wanted to delete as a principal use of the property.
So you're gonna keep that sentence on page 1, under photovoltaic energy systems as the definition, but yet add that after, under section 5.3.
After the solar energy systems.
Yeah, and then delete as principal use of the property.
And also deleting rather than being consumed on the site. She's keeping just whose main purpose. is
Period,
to
after the
Energy
system.
for sale back into the energy grid system, period.
And that's what this ordinance is all about. They're not gonna put up a commercial system and follow this on their land and then keep all the electricity for themselves. It's a commercial operation, and the primary use, as you'll find that in here, states it's to sell it back to the grid in sense, and they can use it for their own. But the primary, this whole ordinance is because there are some people out there who want to build substantial systems.
But I'm just concerned that if somebody doesn't want to sell it to the grid, and it's a company that wants to utilize solar to offset their expenses,
It's
I want to make
page
sure
three.
that that's still a viable option.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's page 3.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, that was,
All right. Well, that's all my concern, but I agree.
but when we do, I'm not gonna say
It's page 3.
short there, if they keep the electricity, they build it for themselves, they keep the electricity, they're not selling it back.
There must be some big industry they got going there then.
Well, there's some,
It's
there's
interesting.
some
It's
is.
very- it's what it is.
But how is that taxed? If they're not selling it back, they only use it for their own.
Well,
think
actually,
there's a chance
there's a
of that.
complicated way that it happens. In a sense, they keep it, well, they get credits. It's a more complicated system when you work with the National Grid or whoever. There's this thing about credits, and they get, and what ends up happening is once they determine how much you gave to the National Grid, for instance, they end up cutting you a check and sending it to you.
I understand that, but the taxes for the town of Hopkinton is what I'm.
Taxes on what?
If it's a personal conglomerate of a business, is it tangible
property, a tangible
Yeah,
fence.
and these, of course, these
But we- I
solar,
mean,
they're
we
not
don't-
taxable, the tangible's not taxable, because of the law now, so it's not in-
Oh, no, there is, it's $5,000 per kilowatt.
But I don't think, I think that she's right, I don't think that's to do with tangible. If you put these roof-mounted solar panels on your roof and you use it for your
But I'm not-
building, you basically are improving your building and the use of it.
So
Even if you're not,
value-
even if you're not selling it back.
And the value of it,
Yeah, I understand the value, but that's the value as the assessor
right.
values the
Well, I just know
property.
that with the one going up on Bank Street, that we,
We arranged-
we negotiate that,
Right.
and that's a business.
Correct.
But if you're doing it for yourself
If
and
it-
not selling it back as a business, do we then turn?
Well, they gotta get a permit, right, to
Yeah,
install these
yeah.
panels, right?
Yeah, but we're taxing it because it's a full-fledged business. When you put it on the roof of your business and you use it for your business, then you're assessing that property, the value of that property, which is up to the assessor. But we're not taxing the electricity. We're
No,
taxing-
No, he's talking about the
no.
tangibles.
I'm talking about
Right.
tangibles, the units themselves.
Yeah, we're not taxing them because they're part of the business and they're part of the building.
Well,
Well, it's gonna be taxed either way.
Yes,
It'd
we're
be
gonna,
taxed via the
we're
assessor.
gonna raise the assessment of the property because it does.
Yeah.
Right, but
The difference is,
Yeah.
Bank Street doesn't have a building, so it's just gonna be a array,
Yes,
like a
yeah.
solar array park, and then this is gonna be a building, so whether it's assessed,
And
tax.
there is that tangible ordinance too, I forget what the name of it was, where we, it doesn't matter, but we did pass an ordinance a while back so that we could
Okay. All right, I'm
offer to
just-
companies that we're not, negotiate how much they're gonna be taxed for tangibles. So if the law says you can't tax them, then you can't, but we still did have that law, that ordinance.
That's fine. I have no problem with it. You got it.
Yeah, So is that your only?
That was it.
Okay, I just had a quick couple of things. One we've already touched upon, so was, yeah, I think it's important to delineate, between residential and commercial, which I think non-residential certainly has that. And the other thing, this was the memo that Lisa put together, which included the changes from our July 5th meeting. It says whether or not to eliminate the necessity of fence requirement should state aesthetic and pleasing. I guess, I don't know how you guys feel, if we just glossed over that particular part of it. I wanted to leave it to the planning board to establish what buffering looks like. For instance, if it's a manufacturing site, that a chain link fence is adequate, and it looks fine, it doesn't, affect the neighboring buildings, I think it's fine. Or if it needs to be, if it's a commercial space near homes, that it has to have more vegetative state. I just think maybe leaving it to the planning board, being specific in this ordinance might tie us to that. So I don't know what you guys think.
I disagree, I think it's very important to have that 6-foot high fence, and if you find, if I happen to find out about a few other facilities, and one huge one is, but anyway, it's standard to put a 6-foot fence.
No, I just
So I'd
wanted
like to
He's
leave
not
it here.
changing that.
No, I'm not changing that, I just wanted to leave it to the planning board to have
Of course.
more discretion on if it's closer to a residential home, then arborvitae's might suffice versus a fence.
Well, we'd always,
Depending on how
I'm
many
in the mind,
panels.
we should always have a
I
fence,
think
no
you should
matter
always
where
have
it
a
is,
fence.
because kids will
Some-
try.
Because you can
You know.
if you go to the Black Farm on Woodville Road, they have that
Beautiful
fence, that's a black fence. And you don't even see it driving by. There's another one over in Farm Home Road. They got a black fence, and you don't even, you drive by, you don't even notice it, basically.
I think that the ordinance says the fence, and we can just leave it as such. The planning board would make it more complex.
Yes,
than necessary. But we certainly leave the fence. Make a motion. I make a motion to, add the chapter 246, non-residential photovoltaic solar energy system with the change on page 2 as has been discussed.
Second.
Any motion?
The title also, right?
Non-residential.
I did that.
Yeah, she made it as part of her motion, she said non-residential, she slipped it in there.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion, council? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Next, number 2, proposed ordinance amendment to farm viability ordinance. Render a decision on a proposed amendment to Code of Ordinances, Chapter 5.5, Farm Viability Ordinance, to include a new section 7, farm-based photovoltaic solar energy systems, introduced by Councilor Thompson, heard on July 5th. Council deliberations. Any questions on that? I'll start with Tom, am I right?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
So,
I thought, based upon what we just went through, naming and making it clear that it's not residential, where you look on the, this is just one page, where you look at item 7 at the top, farm-based photovoltaic solar energy systems, what I would suggest is that after farm-based, you put farm-based non-residential, or you name it commercial. So if you did non-residential, you're in keeping with the ordinance you just passed. But the reason I even bring it up, whether to call it commercial or non-residential, is that farm-based, farms may choose whether they could do this, but they say, well, I don't want to do that. I just want to put in a little system and it's just going to take care of my own needs. That's fine. I wouldn't want farms to think if they have more than 15 acres, that they can't do this little thing for themselves. I didn't know if that's not an issue or not, but based upon what we just went through, I wondered if whether or not we should slip in farm-based commercial or farm-based non-residential.
I think most farms are FRE.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, so non-residential is kind of
Yeah,
sloppy.
Farms are residents.
Yeah,
They
and
are.
so,
I would leave it exactly as it says, farm-based means it has residents, it has barns, it has fields. I mean, it's a farm, they're defined.
We're defining what a farm is, so
yeah, it does just say that if you have 15 acres, you can put in one, you can have 1 acre or so, yeah, okay. All right.
And I think it's simple and we can change it later before we have to become more complex once we do the residential. But I think it makes good sense as it is. I'll make a motion to add chapter 247 and ordinance amendment to chapter 5.5, farm viability ordinance to include a new section 7, farm-based photovoltaic solar energy system.
So,
Okay, motion and second. We don't think we finished our discussion. Dave, do you have anything else on this?
no, I think it's about time we have this, so it's good.
You guys, Tom?
Yeah, I
There's no discussion.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, the only thing for me on this thing, which I think I voiced last time, was the definitions of small, large, and intermediate. Really making sure that we know exactly, like, up to 5 acres is one, or up to 50. I just think having the definition of an intermediate and large farm with the same verbiage doesn't make any sense. So maybe we could change that at some point. Because remember last time, we had the same definition of acres in an intermediate and a large farm, which to me didn't make no sense.
and yeah, you can understand it when you look at the farm viability ordinance as read, as written now. If you get into that ordinance that we've already passed, it makes sense for this to slide right in.
I know. On the surface, I think you had a question too.
Oh, yeah.
You wrangled with it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just think it's a simple definition. I'm not looking at reinvent the wheel here, but
No,
I just think, clarifying up to a certain amount is the small,
Yeah.
or up to 5, and then from 5 to 10 is intermediate, and 15 and above is the large.
intermediate's 5, yeah. Excuse me, it's 15 acres, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Frank, I'm with you about it, it's quite confusing, but I think we should pass this and then we can go back and read.
yeah, I
This is
think,
the exact definition of a small line.
yeah, I can maybe talk to Harry, I don't know. I think-
Yeah, there isn't any small.
There isn't any small.
No, it starts out,
It
not
starts
in
as
it, not with this.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't allow it on
If
small.
you've got a small farm, we don't want you to
No.
try to do
No.
this unless it's
Right.
just for yourself, that's fine.
Exactly, that's why it only has to do with
I would
intermediate
say
and
that
large.
will fall, that would fall in the next one.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
Anyway, that was my only suggestion. So, probably-
Let's visit this one.
Yeah. Okay, motion made, second. Any other discussion, folks? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is the consent agenda. Accept the following monthly financial activity report, town clerk, approve refunds due to overpayments submitted by the tax collector.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. First, public forum. Anyone out there wishing to be heard? Town manager report, Bill, here.
Thank you. July 6th, I convened the fourth meeting of the town's Waterline Review Committee to continue discussion about the purchase and storage of new water meters, the request for proposals for plumbing installation services, billing processes, notification correspondence, and an activity timetable for the project. Once approved by the committee, the meeting minutes will be forwarded to the council members. That project's coming along very nicely. We're about to order the 50 new meters, and they're consistent with the software that we're going to be using from the town of Richmond. I've also prepared a 21-page request for proposal that's already completed. It's going to be advertised July 31st in the Providence Journal and the Westerly Sun. And we're going to go out to bid for those professional plumbing installation services. And then we want to set a timetable for installation, and we'd like to have the entire project completed by the end of the calendar year. July 13th, I convened a bi-monthly meeting of the department heads, which was held at the Crandall House. We just discussed a variety of issues and reviewed the status of all ongoing projects in town, especially the ones that are enumerated in the FY17 annual goals. So if they were funded, we're moving along to try to complete each and every one of those projects by the end of this current fiscal year.
Any questions from Bill, folks? All right, next under old business, discuss, consider, and vote on the Rhode Transit Hub resolution regarding a non-binding question on November 8th ballot. So I wanted to just read the resolution. I think we're all in agreement that we should maybe do this. Resolution of the Hopkinton Town Council requesting the Rhode Island Secretary of State and Hopkinton Board of Canvassers to place a non-binding board referendum question on the town of Hopkinton's local ballot for the November 8th, 2016 general election. Whereas on July 5th, 2016, the Hopkinton Town Council voted unanimously to call for a non-binding ballot question in the form of a local referendum to be put before the electors of the town of Hopkinton on the November 8th, 2016 general election, asking whether they support or oppose the plans put forward by the Rhode Island Department of Transportation to construct a so-called transit hub or welcome center within the town of Hopkinton and in the vicinity of Exit 1 on Interstate 95. And whereas July 5th, 2016, the Hopkinton Town Council voted unanimously to express its opposition to the plans put forward by the Rhode Island Department of Transportation to construct a so-called transit hub or welcome center within the town of Hopkinton in the vicinity of Exit 1 on Interstate 95. And now therefore be it resolved that we, the Hopkinton Town Council, do hereby request the Rhode Island Secretary of State and Hopkinton Board of Canvassers to place a non-binding board referendum question on the local town of Hopkinton ballot for the November 8th, 2016 general election, asking the electors of the town of Hopkinton whether or not they support or oppose the plans put forward by the Rhode Island Department of Transportation to construct a so-called transit hub or welcome center within the town of Hopkinton in the vicinity of Exit 1 on Interstate 95. Adopted this 18th of July 2016. So, any questions, folks?
Just for the record, I know I wasn't here when you voted. I would vote the exact same way you went, so unanimous. Was it? The only thing that I have to say was, for anybody who's lived here, for as long as I'm in Silver and Barbara and Dave, remember Canal Park in Richmond? How do you think they got their water system? And that's my concern.
They can go.
Yes.
What I was going to ask is, this is primarily to just get question on the ballot.
Right.
Okay. All right. You don't, you weren't interested in putting our reasoning, some of the reasons or not?
I don't know, I guess we could, but, you know, I think some of the reasoning,
I think everybody knows what's the thing. It's been pretty much publicized.
we've talked about it.
Yeah, and I've talked to people when I was gone out about it, more against it than I'm for it.
I think the newspapers have covered it really well. I think the council has covered it thoroughly. I think the different boards and commissions have covered it. I think if anyone wants to know anything about it, it's been out in the open. And like I said, our concern is the aquifer and the incredible loss of tax base.
Well, there's a lot of.
There's a lot of things too.
A lot
I
of
mean,
things too.
they're still into putting that roundabout, which
Yeah.
is just
Traffic
gonna
patterns will
change the whole
Landscape.
reason why people move to Hopkinton in the first place. This is it right here.
I think it's wrong to say, to put an enormous
Yeah.
resolution on it.
Yeah, I think what motivated me, at least thanks to John, this was John's suggestion, but what motivated me was that I think that our neighbors up north, I think it was in Barberville, where they were gonna put in a
Power plant?
power plant. And it seemed like the council was indifferent to the constituents' opinions on the project, and they just seemed to kind of go along with it, I think, for some reason or another, about some kind of tax treaty they were working out, but, you know, I just think that it was, in the spirit of listening to the residents, because they elected us, this is something that attempts to do that, so that's where it comes from for me. So.
I think it's a good idea. Can we need to have a motion on this?
Yeah.
Motion to put a RIDOT transit hub resolution, non-binding question on November 8th, 2016 ballot.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any other discussion, folks? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On the thing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Scott, we'll get to you in a minute. Okay, next under new business, discuss and consider offering comments to the Rhode Island Department of Administration regarding Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management's proposed acquisition of 60 acres of land in Allen property and have it incorporated within the Rockville management area. Okay, Mr. McGarry.
Thank you. The Rhode Island Department of Administration is seeking comments regarding the proposed acquisition of property in the town of Hopkinton. As a result of the correspondence that was forwarded from the Department of Administration to the town planner, I asked the town planner and the town's tax assessor to prepare memorandums for the council explaining anything and everything about the proposal and along with its financial impact. And Jim Lanfear and Liz Monty are here to see if the council has any questions.
Thanks, Mike. I think we had it in our packet. I don't know if you guys have any questions for Jim or
Is this just raw land or is there a house?
yeah, I had that same question. Is there a structure on the land? You know, Liz?
Yes, there is. There's a house on the land.
Now, if this gets turned into reserve land, state by it, will they still be retaining their residence? Will they be living in the residence? Is that 1 acre or 2 acre, whatever zone it is, be pulled out of that? Will they live there?
Or are they selling it outright?
That wasn't in.
I didn't see that
agreement.
anywhere
It wasn't
in-
in the agreement as far as I examined.
So
The
there's-
house itself would stand, but it is in fairly good condition.
But the owners are not living there, they're selling the property and the house.
It sounds that way. I did read the deed, and there is a life estate on the deed for Mrs. Allen,
So she would continue to live there.
unless they can change that. If she decided to give up her life estate.
But she has no life estate, but her children do not. She has it.
Correct.
And she can heir it, have an heir for that.
Correct.
So, how do you sell the property? Just selling the whole land? I guess I'm confused. And she's still, if she's got the life estate, she wants to stay in the property? Because of life estate,
Yeah,
she's
so I
selling.
think that's what it is.
Usually the
Right.
intention, yes.
Yeah.
And then when she dies, it goes to
The-
right.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
But everything has to be in writing in real estate in Rhode Island, so we have to examine further.
so do I understand correctly that we are currently receiving $8,097 in property taxes off that piece of land?
Yes.
Wow,
That will be gone.
that's right.
And if it went in farm forest and open space, the price would go down, right? It was an 8,000 with farm
It's
forest.
in open space right now, and it would go up a little bit, not maybe $500 or
Off.
excess.
It came out. of
Yeah.
open space.
It'll go up 500.
So what I'm hearing is currently it's in farm forest and open space, went in 2003 or something. And, but still the taxes are 8,000.
Yes. They were in forestry at one point, but they did not renew their forestry plan. Therefore, they were put into open space, which is only a lesser discount.
Do I understand correctly that if they came out of the FFOS, that it would be developable land? They could run a street in there, develop it into a two-acre house lot, is that correct?
From what I understand from zoning, and obviously I'm not the zoning expert, you require 80,000 square feet per house lot. So if you just did basic math to divide that, there would be several house lots available. There are also frontage requirements, setback requirements that, that's not my specialty either,
But they could run a road straight down through the unapproved road and
but
then
certainly,
cut lots off that road.
certainly.
So they may not get as many as 39 lots, but they could certainly get a good 18 to 20.
Possibly.
It's all developable. That's one thing.
I was sort of excited when I saw the name Alan, thinking, I emailed to Bill, thinking it was our friend Marshall Wood, but it's not the same Mr. Allen.
No, I think it's doable, and if ADM wants to add to that, we're lucky.
And it's contiguous, which is
It is,
very
that's
nice.
nice.
It really does.
Yeah, and then the Blue Pond will be completely all around except for.
That's true.
So I think you just see that sort of.
Well, almost.
Land for the future, we don't know what's gonna happen, especially if we lose water through contamination of any point.
Yeah, I mean, they're not making any more.
Do you have any printable comments that we want to put forward regarding this topic, I guess? to Liz or Bill?
I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Tom, all set?
Yeah, I'm just conflicted with the house lot being still there.
Maybe we can get, certainly that's a comment I think that I want to know, I guess, if she's going to remain there with the lake estate, even after the sale, I guess, how does that transition?
And I'm conflicted because I like it as a contiguous, and I would like to see it contiguous in that area for the DEM. But even, I know there are 18 to 20 house lots, but those are house lots at, 5,000 or 6,000 apiece. And some will have children and some will not. So I mean, I realize people are concerned about children because of the cost of the school, which is valid. At the same time, children make healthy, safe neighborhoods. So I'm conflicted, but overall, I think I like it because it's a contiguous piece. Although houses do also bring us money. Children don't.
I like open space. I love open space. I think it's a nice lot that fits in nicely right with the rest of the open space around it. I like that a lot. I would be supportive of this with a caveat that we continue to tax the house. I'll tell you why we should tax the house. Because whoever's living there, he's got police protection, he's got fire protection, and we pay for that. And it's not right for somebody to live in this town, in a house, and not pay taxes of some sort on that property. If the property goes over the state, that's one thing, I can go along with that, and not collect any taxes on it. But I think the house, considering that we have to provide police, especially police and fire protection for that house, I think that it should be taxed until she passes away.
I
or she
assume
moves out.
that would happen. Yes.
I would like to think of that.
Well, I assume that that's part of the deal. So then make our comment, I agree, make our
So
comment
that was
that
the, I mean,
that her lot, that has to be taxed, that separate area where she lives needs
to
to
the
be taxed.
minimum, to the minimum lot size.
Yeah, I guess
that-
we need further clarification on that.
If they want to comment, that's her comment.
Right.
And
She's
then,
gonna live there, she's gonna be taxed as a residential dwelling.
As if she owned it, that, yeah.
If she's gonna reside there, I would imagine there's gonna be something, I mean, if it gets bought by DEM, I can't imagine there would be any expense to her if she's gonna be living there. This doesn't
and
make any
she's still
sense.
got the enjoyment of the property. So it's here.
Oh, it's still the road.
We need clarification on that piece, that's really,
I just,
Gary,
you know, but
yeah.
I'm just trying to help here. I just know from my practice that a life estate and real estate is appraisal. You can appraise the value of that. It has a value. It diminishes the value of the whole piece because someone else has an interest in it that they can use, in this case, as a residence for their lifetime. So that diminishes the whole parcel, the unified parcel's value. So you can hire an appraiser or a tax assessor could do that, put a value on the residence and tax it. I don't know if there's any case law on that since the state, obviously Hopkinton can't tax the state, but it seems to be an arguable proposition legally that since for capital gains purposes and other purposes, the life estate has a value that can be appraised, and therefore a tax could be based on that appraised value, I would think.
Well, my only concern is, say I went out and bought 100 acres, or 40 acres, what this is, 60 acres, and I wanted to sell it to the state with a life estate, and I'm only 40 years old.
Right.
So I just don't want to open up any loopholes that, okay, now, I don't want to pay taxes here, but I'm going to live here, but I still have the enjoyment of all my property.
I'll make it even nastier. What happens if you get that deal and you're married and you have 3 kids that go to schools here? And-
Well, at the life estate, my understanding on the life estate that my grandmother had, that she lived
It's
there,
only for her.
it's only for
Right,
her,
for that person.
for that person.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a married couple, I would think it would be for that married couple, not for their children, grandchildren,
So the
anybody else
so the
after that.
grandchildren can't move in with her?
No.
Oh, well, they
Well,
might,
But they can.
but they can't live there after
But
she
once she
dies.
passes
Right.
away,
But they can live there, go to the schools.
But that's 16,000 per
Ah.
child,
That's right.
60,000 per
If
child.
you lose the grandchildren, and then all of a sudden we're paying for the grandchildren, she's not paying any taxes.
Well, anyway,
So let's get some clarification on that important factor, as if we could.
and I think what I heard is, Kevin, is that a comment could be, we'd like to tax that house, and the land is different, just that house that she lives in, right?
and then the minimum lot size.
I don't
for
know,
that.
I'm not sure of that.
That's 2 acres, yeah, it wasn't, I looked at that one, wasn't it? At some point, that's-
Sorry to see the revenue go, but
Me
we'll
too.
get clarification on that, on the taxation portion, I guess, if she's gonna.
But yeah, and so it's not for us to vote yes or no,
Right.
ours is
No.
only to comment, we
Comments.
give them the comments, and it's over.
And we'll get questions, hopefully our questions answered. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments on this topic, folks?
I just have one actually for Jim. Jim, this 60 acres, this dotted line in the middle, is that a road? So that's a
Maybe the
road.
driveway.
There it is.
I don't know if it's a driveway or a road, but that's something that you could definitely do properties off of.
Well,
Is that a road or is it?
Something like that is generally an easement.
Right
You
away.
notice it goes right to the pond.
Mhm.
So it could be an easement. It could be a road to the house. I'm not sure.
There's a road to the pond, probably wouldn't be a road to the pond.
Yeah, we've got some dirt roads here, and it might just be a dirt road, because there are some other things that are dotted, and they are dirt roads.
that's right.
Yeah, because it's on trail, same,
That's right.
dotted. And I know that's a use for the drive down there, but now they blocked off. So everybody was using it as a dumping spot.
Yeah, this is a trail, it's on a trail, so maybe it's just considered a trail.
I already has a comment. No, it's not. No, he wanted to voice his comments, so just discussion, or for comments.
It's just that you have rules about it.
No, I know that.
So you just, like, depends on who they are, and then they don't follow the rules?
No.
I don't care, I mean, I like it when people get to stand up
Well, I know
and
that,
make
I
a
know that,
comment.
and I'm,
But the
and I'm,
rules
and
don't
I'm,
let them anymore.
well, no, they do, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
running the meeting and I'm saying you can do it.
Okay, so you can do the rules any way you
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
Why don't we move to public forum?
Well, we just listened to public.
I don't want anybody to get in trouble here.
It's not an issue, so it really isn't. It's
something-
not a hearing.
It's for you.
No, it's not.
No, I mean,
It's
you get
important.
to decide.
Yes,
That's what I'm telling you.
yeah, and I'm telling you, it's okay for him to speak.
Okay?
Harvey, please. Ignore the comments, you know, the
Troublemaker.
counterproductive comments, please.
Sorry I came tonight.
No.
I too, when I saw that name Allen, thoughts lit up in my head.
Yes.
Apparently I had the wrong Allen. Is this the property that is on Blue Pond and reaches out to Connecticut Road?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't know where it was before, so I didn't prepare any big thoughts other than I hiked over in that area. It would more or less complete the loop around the pond. And there's some very interesting things right in the adjacent properties. I'm sure that some of that stuff continues on that. So it's certainly an interesting piece of a lot of stuff together. So I mean, from that standpoint, not thinking about the dollars at all. It's just it's nice to put the pieces of the puzzle together for our management area.
And maybe bunnies.
Yes.
Thank you,
I
Harvey.
would thank you for looking over it.
Thanks,
Yes, I want that.
Yeah, it's important, so I think to mention, to hear from the Conservation Commission chairman on this particular issue. He knows a lot about land, and I think it's important. Rules or not. So. Next, discuss, consider, and vote to appoint Margaret Steele Esquire as an alternate probate judge to handle a matter that probate judge Urso has a conflict with.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Last public forum, Mr. Hurst.
Scott Bill Hurst, 28 Foot Ashway. I would like to say, and I wanted to speak on the transit hub situation. As chairman of the Hopkinton Republican Town Committee, we will be discussing this issue a week from Thursday at the police station on a regular monthly meeting at 7 o'clock. One of the things I'm interested in, when did the town first become aware of the state's plans there, timeline? Because I know it's been out there,
January.
No,
we didn't get it
much,
till
much
later.
later.
Yeah,
Much
we
later.
didn't get the information.
Some people found out early and most of us found out later.
So that's when we found out.
That's right, yeah.
Frank knew before that. Yeah,
It was like May or June.
Okay.
but because, I mean, it's been out there for a few months and probably the council should have moved on it quicker, but I'm not going to berate the council for that. But I think that there is certainly interest in the community about the topic, and hopefully Republicans might choose to take a stand on that issue. One thing I would like to note as far as the referendum goes, it's highly unusual, it could be the first time it's been used in the town, that we put a non-binding referendum for public opinion on the ballot. It might have happened with the schools at one point, but it's highly unusual, and I'm not criticizing the council for doing that, but it's not something that's done typically. With that, have a good evening, and sit back.
Thanks.
I mean, I would rather know.
We've done it before.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
It's unusual, but
And
it's the warranty.
it's also the right thing to do. Down behind the site.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.